Hey guys, Jared Wesley here of Live Traders, and I'm back for another quick tips lesson. But today's I decided to combine a quick tips lesson with some of the actual real trading and real fills that I took today. So today's lesson, guys, is on sitting on your hands, knowing when not to trade, okay? There's a lot of you out there that are simply just pushing the button to push the button, okay? You think that by taking a trade, you're always going to make money. And what you're gonna learn as you gain more experience is that the more you trade, usually the more you lose. And you're like, what does that mean? And I don't mean the more you trade in terms of 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I mean, if you take 3 trades today versus 10 trades today, the day you take 10 trades is usually the day you lose money or make less money. Most days that you do well, you're probably taking fewer trades. Well, some days we know this right off the market open. Let me explain. Today, I told the chat room, I said, guys, this gap list is not very good. It's a Monday, okay? The gap list isn't very good. It's a small gap list, and the market is gapped up again, right? The market's been up quite a bit lately. So when you look at all those factors, you have to realize that, you know what? Let me take a step back today. I don't want to be overly aggressive today, and understanding the market environment is very, very, very important, okay? So when I looked at the list today, I had 5 or 6 total ideas, which is not a lot, okay? Most days you're gonna have 10, 15 ideas, sometimes even 20. So when you come in and say, oh my gosh, I only have 4, 5, 6 ideas, there's not that much out there. Now, is it possible on some or occasionally of those days that you might have one level 1 gap? You're like, wow, this is amazing. Sure, it's possible, okay? It's just not likely. So that was the case today. So I really liked Tesla and Nvidia today, but overall the gap list wasn't very good. So we had to temper our enthusiasm because we expected a lack of follow through. And remember, you can only take what the market is willing to give. And many of you out there think that every single trading day is some kind of super giving holiday. It's like Christmas every day. It's not the case. And I bet you, and put your comments below, answer this question for me. Put your comments below. How many of you out there are generally trading well, but 1 or 2 days a month are killing you? Maybe 3 days, 1 to 3 days a month are crushing you. Where most of the time, 75, 80% of the time, you're trading really well, making money, but a couple, 2, 3 days of the month, you're giving back half your profits, all your profits, a third of your profits, whatever. And if you could just eliminate those days, you'd be a better trader. I know what you're thinking, like, how did he know that? Because we all go through it as traders. We do, we all go through it. So today was one of those days. So I only took 1 trade today on Nvidia, okay? And technically it was 2, but it was on the same stock. And I was very scalpy. I used a 1-minute entry and a 1-minute bar by bar because my pre-market bias was choppy, narrow range, not a good gap list. So you'll notice today on Nvidia, I took 2 separate trades. One was a 1-minute kind of a breakout, and the other one was a beautiful 1-minute buy setup. But the truth of the matter is they didn't have a lot of follow through, which is what we expected. So trailing them out bar by bar on the 1 minute turned out to be the best thing we could have done. So I'm going to leave it, guys, for the screens behind me here, because I went and I explained the trades I took, why I took them, why I bar by bar them. But today's quick tips lesson is basically this. If you're unsure about the market environment, if you're not happy with the gap list, or you don't have anything on your gap list that you think is really, really good, step back. There's always tomorrow. There's always next week. More often than not, you will do more damage than good when you trade on days you shouldn't be trading, or when you trade on days when you know the gap list isn't very good. And trust me, guys, it's not all just about pattern recognition. It's not always just about how many winners you have. A lot of good trading, a lot of professional trading is mitigating losses, not taking big losses. Most traders have enough winners to do well. Okay, they do. But what happens is they let their losers overpower their winners, or have that 1 or 2 or 3 bad days a month, and then boom. And they sit there like, I'm so close, I'm just so close. You are, but sometimes discipline is what you really need, right? Your emotions take over and you feel the need to trade. You're like, oh, I have a mortgage to pay. Relax, guys. Think of trading in bigger clips, in monthly clips, in quarterly clips, in bi-yearly clips, in yearly. Don't think of trading as in 1 day or 1 week or even really 1 month. Okay, so we're gonna get to the computer here, guys. I'm gonna review the Nvidia trade that I took today. I hope you guys learn a little bit from these quick tips. I'm Jared Wesley of Live Traders. Let's get to it. All right, guys, so like I said, sitting on hand is a position. So before I go over what I did on NVIDIA today, I wanted to actually take a look at my gap list because it really wasn't very impressive. And that's part of knowing when to sit on hands. So if I go down here and we take a look over here, okay, this right here is my actual watch list. Okay, you can see Tesla, SAVA, NVIDIA, APPS, AMD. All right, those are my 5 long ideas. I think I threw pins on there as well. And then I only had one short idea on FCX, and honestly, it wasn't a very good short idea. So the rest of these spaces are just backup watch ideas from Friday, Thursday, etc., and so forth. But my main watch list today really only consisted of 5 or 6 ideas. And I said this to the chat room, but these are not very good ideas. The gap list wasn't very good. The gap up in the market wasn't very good. The watch list wasn't very good. The gap list wasn't, I mean, it wasn't very good. So what does that mean? Take a step back. Really, take a step back. You don't have to make money every single day. In fact, great traders, they usually make most of their weekly income in 1 to 2 days. They make most of their monthly income in about 5 to 7 days a month, right? You're going to have that one day a week where you can hit it really hard and everything works. You're going to have that one day a week where nothing works. Then you're going to have those kind of 3 days in the middle where you chop around a little bit. And that's the way it goes for the trading year as well. You have a 12-month trading year. And guess what? You're going to have 3 months of the year where you just freaking kill it. You can do no wrong. Everything's so good, it's unbelievable. Then you're going to have 3 months of the year where you can do no right. And then you have 6 months where you make some money. Okay, so today, for example, I knew that this wasn't a great trading day. So I was really focused on Tesla and NVIDIA. Okay, so I wanted to keep an eye on those 2 ideas because I thought they had the most potential, but we still had to be very cautious and conscientious because, well, it wasn't a great day. So if we go over to NVIDIA here, we took a trade at $814 right here where my cursor is. Okay, so we're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes into the day. We put our stop loss under this bottoming tail, which is like 810.50, and we got a good initial pop. But here's the difference today, okay? I took a very scalpy approach because I didn't have confidence in anything today. There really wasn't anything that looked good today. So this thing popped up. I took a little bit off, but then I raised my stop loss. You can see on the screen, guys, raise the stop loss to 812.50. Guys, raise the stop loss to 813.50. All right. Why? I'm protecting as we go up, right? You see right there, that's the 811.20 area. Right under this bar, that's the 812.50 area that I raised it to. And then under this bar is the 813.50 area that I raised it. So basically, I did a 1 minute bar by bar because I just didn't trust it. Well, sure enough, it came all the way back down. So I made a little bit of money off the first trade, maybe a few $100, not much, because it came back down and tagged us just under break. Right up. You can watch NVIDIA 814 by 811. Right, you can watch NVIDIA 814 by 811. I don't know if I trust it entirely. Right, I don't know if it's a pretty whippy, spready stock. You'd be looking at about a $3.50 stop loss. I mean, you can see how whippy it is. Probably, yeah, 350, something like that. All right, so cancel NIO, and let's do NVIDIA 814 by 810.50. All right, NVIDIA 814 by 810.50. This is, again, a little more aggressive. And cancel NIO. We got to get over 814. Q's lower, SPY trying to go a little higher. Kind of looking for 818 to 820 on this, guys. So we just got a $2.50 move. For me, guys, just as an FYI, my stop's going to 812.50. Okay, just FYI, 812.50. So that's about $3 right here. We're almost at break even on this, guys. I'm going to go break even a little bit early. My stop was about $3.50. So it should be like 817 area. I'll give it just a little bit extra room.
So I have a feeling, like I said, I'm going to get tagged at, yep. All right, so I'm out NVIDIA, guys. Just FYI, I'm out NVIDIA for a 1/3 R gain. Okay, out NVIDIA for a...
Okay, and then this happened. Lower high, lower high, lower high. It was a beautiful 1 minute buy setup, okay? And the proper entry was $813.50, right? $813.45, right above this green bar with a stop loss at $811.40, okay? So what did I do? How did I mitigate this? Well, I didn't want to be peekabooed in on a sloppy sit on your hands type day. So instead of getting it at 813.45, I actually waited for 814. Okay, now, unfortunately for me, I took a lot of slippage on the entry and I got filled at like 814.40. So it ended up being a pretty bad entry, even though the idea, the correct entry, the idea was proper. I didn't want to get peekabooed in because sometimes, and I'm sure it's happened to you guys, where you get triggered in by a nickel or a dime, then they immediately go lower. I didn't want that to happen. But long story short, we got in at 813.50. I waited for 814, took some slippage, and we used 811. So I gave it a $3 stop loss. Could you have realistically had a $2 stop loss? Answer, not really. I know the chart says you could have, but with the spread and the whip of NVIDIA, and it's tightened up quite a bit right now because this was an hour or two ago, but with the spread and whip of NVIDIA, you were looking at 70, 80 cent spreads. So $1.50 to $2 stop loss is too tight. $3 was the appropriate stop loss. Long story short, we needed 820 for our 2-to-1. It didn't quite get there. It went up to 819.00. I took some off along the way, and then again, we bar by bar, we raised our stop loss to break even. And then right here, right where that bottoming tail is, you can kind of put in a line across it right there, that line right here, is where I got tagged at break even. It dropped, it bounced, and then it would have been a full stop out. So
I'm going to look to get back into NVIDIA. Okay, just I'm going to say it now. Look for a possible read on NVIDIA. Why? Because I think this thing goes higher. The Qs right now are dragging everything down. Apple is getting hammered right now for Apple, and I'm looking at NVIDIA thinking this thing is going to hold up. I'm going to look for like a 1 minute buy setup on NVIDIA. I think this thing does the business today. We'll see. Right now, it's held the stop loss by, I don't know what, $1-ish. There's a $3.50 stop loss. It's hanging on like a hair in a biscuit. But I'm going to look for a 1 minute buy setup on NVIDIA. All right, I'm just letting you know now. I'm looking for a 1 minute buy setup on NVIDIA. I may do like 814 by 811. All right, keep an eye on NVIDIA, guys. You might still be in it, but I'm going to look for 814 by 811. Big ass spread on this thing, man. Holy shit, Stain. Are you kidding me? This thing filled me 50 cents late on that fill. Wow. Like, I expected some slippage, but 50 cents? I did not expect that. I put my order at $813.95. You guys probably put your orders like $813.70. And all right, NVIDIA stop break even, guys. NVIDIA stop break even. Come on, baby. $6, guys. So you're basically looking at 820 as full target on this thing. All right, 820 is full target on this thing. I have 650 locked on it, which I should have more than that locked because I took too much off with that overfill, but it's a beautiful buy setup. Like we said, we talked about the relative strength. The good news is this is only put in $10 today, and on a narrow day, this thing will put in $13, $14. On a good day, it'll put in $20. So hopefully it holds break even, and we'll see 820 plus plus. But I don't have many shares left of it, so I'm just kind of messing around at this point.
Long story short, between two trades, I only made $651 today, which is kind of, frankly, dog shit, right? That's a crappy day. But we traded very tight and very smart because today was a sit on hands day. The gap list was terrible. The market gap was also terrible, right? It's a Monday on top of it. There wasn't much to do today. So what do many of you do on days where there isn't much to do? You get killed. You get crushed. You push the button 5 times and you lose 4 or 5 out of those trades and you're down 4R, 5R, 3R, whatever it is. And now what do? It's Monday and you're going to spend the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, doing what? Getting your money back when you should have never, ever put yourself in that position in the first place. That's what we did today. In the smart side of things, said, today's a choppy day. The gap list isn't good. Let's bar by bar, let's keep it tight today. Okay, so now I understand that's a challenging concept because some of you are like, well, I just do all or nothing. And that's fine. If you're going to do all or nothing, that's okay. But be very, very careful when you don't have a good gap list, when you don't have a good market gap, right? The market's been so extended lately, we couldn't expect that much from it today. And the gaps that we were looking at weren't very good either. Well, temper your enthusiasm. Live to fight another day. It's these types of days where you start out with one losing trade, you got to get your money back. You take another trade, you lose. I got to get my money back. You take another trade, you lose, and all of a sudden you're minus 3 or 4R, and now you've messed up your entire week. Instead, I didn't have a great day. I only made $650, but I made money. That's key. I made money. All right. On a day like this, you want to be in one of 3 spots. You either want to make money, obviously, break even, and worst case, maybe lose 1R. Maybe lose 1R and go, it's not that good of it. I took a shot. It didn't work. Okay. But the way we traded today was very smart. It's very tight because it's not an environment that you want to push it. So I hope you guys learned from this quick tips lesson that not every day is a trading day. Some days it's far better to sit on your hands because you can only take what the market is willing to give. All right. So it's a quick lesson today. It's a simple lesson today, but here's the rub. Most of you aren't paying attention to it. You know you shouldn't trade on certain days, but you do it anyway. You know it, and you still do it anyway. Guys, sometimes it's not rocket science. Sometimes it's just discipline. This wasn't rocket science today. Most people knew this wasn't going to be a rip-roaring great day, but they couldn't hold back. They couldn't stop. They couldn't help themselves, okay? You need to practice that because it's just as important as anything else you do in trading. Protecting the losing days, having small losing days. Let me ask you a quick question. Put it in the comments below, okay? How often are you guys out there letting 1 or 2, maybe 3, 1 to 3 bad days per month ruin your month? Whereas if you could eliminate those 2 days or 3 days, you would make a lot of money. But those 1, 2, 3 days destroy your month or significantly damage your month. Put the comments below because I want to hear, I want to see what you guys have to say. All right. So I hope you guys learned a little bit about when to sit on your hands, okay, and when to take it easy. A good indication of that is when you have a crappy gap list. A crappy gap list means it's probably not going to be a great trading day, so take it easy, sit on hands on that day. I'm Jared Wesley of Live Traders. We'll get back at it again soon.